What is happening, guys? In today's video we're going to continue the progress on the Yerfdog. Now this is a customer build. Randy did the floors and the bus. We can't thank him enough for helping us out. So we're doing this awesome build on his Yerfdog using the old A-arms off of the IRS buggy. So you can check out the link to the video on the first episode in the video's description, or you can actually hit on the playlist on the right hand side and help support the channel by watching them videos. So we're going to get into this. We got to mock up more of the front end and start cutting this thing apart to make it the ultimate little go-kart. So let's get to it. Alright, so this is going to be extremely hard to do being by myself, but we got these spindles all welded up. We had to grind a little bit of material off these high misalignment spacers. We probably still need to grind a little bit more. It looks like it's still a little bit tight, but basically we welded the nut in, so we'll put a bolt through with a lock washer, and we're going to do some wire through it so we don't ever have a problem with this bolt working out on the top or the bottom heim joint. So I need to break this off. Oh, there we go. Again, this is extremely hard to do when you're by yourself. We got our high misalignment spacers popped in there. Come on, baby. That one fit really good. Alright. There it is. This bolt's not tightened all the way, but you can see we got a ton of travel. Let me clock these heim joints a little bit. We got a ton of travel. So the way I always set front ends up, let me back out the camera. So the way I always set my front ends up is I go down, that's where my heim joints run out of travel. See, we're unlimited on turning once I grind these spindles, you know, to clear the heim joints, but we're not going to be limited on turning. We're just going to be limited on suspension travel. So if I let that go, that's as low as it'll go. So when I set my shock up, I'll actually raise this up, you know, probably like an inch from an inch on the spindle from the ground, and that's where I'll mount my shock. So even when my shock bottoms out, which will have limiting straps, but when my shock bottoms out, it's not bottoming out these heim joints. So it keeps the life of our heim joints really well. And again, these shocks he's using only have about 3 inches of travel, 2.5, 3 inches of travel. So we're going to be limited on that. So we're only going to get about that much travel in these A-arms, which is plenty. But now we need to set up the steering rack. I'll get the other spindle put on, and then later we can grind this so we get full turning. It's just pocketing these spindles to be able to turn all the way. So I didn't explain why we had to adapt the steering. As you can see on the screen now, our pivot points of this rack was like 9 inches wide from heim joint to heim joint. We needed it to be 7 inches wide from heim joint to heim joint because that is what our front A-arms are spaced out apart. So to get the perfect steering and no bump steer and all that, there's a bunch of things that go in, and we'll be talking about bump steer on a later video on this cart as well. But to keep away from getting bump steer, you need to get the pivot points of your rack when you're going straight at the same as the pivot points of the A-arm. So you can see that's what we've done. We've taken some 1/4 inch flat stock and we've adapted this rack down to 7 inch from heim joint to heim joint. Now we can't make our tie rod links on our spindles yet until we get our back section made on the go-kart and we can find our accrement angle. And again, we'll explain this in a later video. And basically I'll give a rundown of why I set my front ends up the way I do and the reason behind that. Let's get on to the video. We got to start cutting this cart apart and get it ready for the new back half. Guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. We got a lot done on the Yerfdog. We basically got it cut apart, and you can see we got the front tires put on the spindles. And I know when I mounted the spindles, they was a little they wasn't level. So the good thing about double having heim joints on top and bottom, you can kind of set your camber and everything up. So this does have a little bit of caster on it, not a ton. I really would have wanted more, but this front end really was everything was really tight on this front end, how it was made. So but this shows you what you can do with a simple go-kart chassis and how awesome you can make it when we're done with this. So this is a customer's vehicle. We're putting a built Duro Max. It's got a high torque cam from Go Power Sports, a flat slide carb. We got 50-pound springs from Go Power Sports, and we're doing the whole live axle bearings 40 series. So make sure to check out the links in video's description. Those links do help us out and keep us to doing these videos. We can't thank Go Power Sports enough for sponsoring these videos, and customers like Randy for letting us build them really overkill go-karts. The next episode you'll see us building the semi-independent rear suspension. We're going to build a whole new swing arm. Basically the front end and the swing arm is way stronger than the chassis of this cart, but we are going to beef up the cart. That's why we cut this whole back section off, is because we need to build a wider back section because his shoulders was really tight, this being a kid's go-kart. You know what we started is, but it's going to show you what you can do with one of these carts. You can get these things super cheap. I can find these all the time for around $150 with no engine on them. And so maybe this will inspire you guys to buy one and follow this build series and build you the ultimate little go-kart. Again, huge thanks to Go Power Sports, and a massive thanks to you guys for watching, subscribing, sharing the videos, commenting. All that stuff helps us to continue to do these videos. We're almost 200,000 subscribers. And that's because you guys watching the content and help supporting the channel. So continue to do so through 2020. Hopefully old Copa don't shut us down, and we thank you guys for your support and your love. And yeah, I can't wait to see where we go with this new garage. We've got some crazy tooling coming for it from Quantum, so it's going to be a massive upgrade for our shop. So thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts for all the support. We love you, and God bless.